Hey creators, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be kind of emotional. It's not going to be like a rant or anything like I've done in the past. But as you can see from the title, my great-grandmother passed away. And like, how blessed I was to enjoy her throughout my life. She's always been there like from my birth up until I was 11. And then she moved back to her home country of Liberia. She was incredibly strong up until the last day that she died, and she had many gifts. Singing was one of them. She took exercise every single morning. Will be missed. She was a great soul in this world. Everything I've learned, everything that I've become, I attribute to her, because if she didn't teach my grandmother how to live, my grandmother would then be able to teach my mom how to live, and I would probably not be who I am today because of her. Many times, like when I would come back from school, it would always be her there. My day, just to listen about things that were rough for me, even if she couldn't really help me, she always gave the best advice. She always cared. And I remember the last conversation I had with her. She was just saying, like, stay in school, don't let anything distract you, don't let boys distract you, don't let troubles distract you, don't let any obstacle get in your way, because she didn't really get as much of an education that I'm privileged to get now. So she was just saying, like, take advantage of your education, and that will take you very far in life. She went through so much in her life, but still stayed close to God and stayed humble and stayed strong. And if I can just be if I can have half as much as greatness as that woman had, I'm set for life. I wrote something the day I found out, because the day I found out, I was home with my sister and I was babysitting, and I had called my mom that my sister wasn't listening to me or something, and I just heard her crying on the phone, and I was like, Mom, what happened? And I asked her like 5 times. I was like, Mom, what happened? She just didn't want to tell me. And finally she told me, Big Grandma died. And I wrote something when I found out. So yeah, it was crazy. And one day I went through so many emotions: shock, denial, anger, apathy, and realization. When I heard my mom crying and she told me the news, I couldn't help but cry myself. My legs got weak and my body failed to function. I didn't believe that she was dead. I couldn't fathom a life without her presence. How could I? How could the very inspiration, the very reason for my being, be gone? How and why would God take her away? How could the same woman that brought so much life into this world be dead? I sat on the floor, rolling and yelling, barely able to speak. For about 10 minutes, I could hear nothing but her soft voice, and feel her soft hands on my shoulders. Then came denial. After calling my grandmother to tell her I had to go for a walk, I left, like I had many times before, hoping that the further I walked away from her memory, the more unreal everything would become. I kept saying, no, you can't do this, not now. Not right before I could come to see you. She's not dead. Knowing my big grandma, she was just nodding. No, she wouldn't do this, not now. She loved me too much. After walking for a while, I found myself crying again because she wasn't there for me to confide in. I looked down, flip-flops and a t-shirt. She would not be proud. She always used to say, you never know who could see you. Then I had to sit down. No one could see my tears, my sweaty face, my half-done hair. Then came the anger. If God is so great, why is there death in the first place? How could he claim to love us but kill the same people that he created? Why does living even matter if all you're gonna do is die? The thoughts continued, and I walked back and forth on the main road, and not caring if a car would hit me. Slowly, after 2 attempts, I stopped what I was doing. I walked to the beauty store to get ideas to dye my hair. When I picked up the first color, I could hear her voice once again. Come sit, let me plait that black bush on your head. I dropped the bottle at once and went back to my family. I had to be strong for them. My tears turned into dust, and for a couple hours, I became immune to every feeling. This was apathy. I stopped caring and tried to be hospitable as the guests came, just as she taught me. I took my braids out and fixed myself up the way that she would have wanted. All the relatives left. We got in the car. Then came the realization. She was gone to a better place, but this is not the end. My grandma will live on in her tales, the training she implemented in my grandmother, and in her voice that I can faintly hear if I listen in my heart. My big grandma has left this world, but she will never leave me. So, yeah. I have a couple pictures of her when she was younger. So, yeah, this is one of her pictures. Beep. That's her right there. And then that's her again right there. Honestly, I'm trying not to cry, so I'm not gonna say too much, but I just want you to know, Grandma, Big Ma, that's what I used to call her. I love you. I'll never forget you, and I hope that you're watching over me and that you're very proud of me. I love you, and rest in peace. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and share this video. Most importantly, keep creating. I love you all.